Welcome into another video in my series where we're going through and testing all of the weapons inside of Modern Warfare 3 to see how viable these weapons are for us to be using inside of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. This is going to include the aftermarket parts, the aftermarket conversion kits, as well as the Modern Warfare 2 weapons. So if you're new around here and you'd like to see how weapons perform inside of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, make sure you are subscribed with those bell notifications turned on so you're not going to miss any future uploads from myself on Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. As well, down below in the description you will find the link for my streams. I stream on Mondays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I just generally have a ton of fun over there streaming custom zombies, other zombie related games, and hopefully you guys will come and hang out. Now, in today's video, I just wanted to find out from you all as MW3 seems to have us very busy with the new event, Vortex Death's Lair, as we have a bunch of very specific challenges to complete in order to unlock the Press F blueprint for the SVA, which I think looks pretty cool. Definitely interested to see how that blueprint performs. So let me know how many of those challenges you have completed, and as I'm sure you all know, we still have the ongoing DNA Strands event. Yay! But now we have all 4 DNA available to complete. I'm not sure if we can get all of them yet, so not too sure about that, but let me know where you are, what your thoughts on the events, and if you're with me and happy that there is always something for us to be doing inside of Modern Warfare 3. Whether it's an event or what have you, there always seems to be something to do, whether it's a new mode or event. So I'm enjoying that for MW3. Let me know what you guys think down below. Now in today's video, we're going to be checking out an MW2 weapon that I used a ton when I used to play DMZ inside of the Koshkai complex, and that is the FTAC Siege. So we're going to be taking a look at the FTAC Siege today, taking that through all 3 tiers, taking on bounty contracts all the way through to see just how well this weapon performs inside of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. So by the end of today's video, you should have a good feel for how the FTAC Siege performs inside of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, and whether or not it's going to be a viable weapon for you to be using inside of your games in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. So without further ado, let's get to the FTAC Siege review video today. Alright, welcome into another video today, and this is one I've been looking forward to get to, as this is a weapon I'm going to be checking out today that I used a ton in DMZ for MW2 inside of the Koshkai complex, as this just absolutely shredded things inside of there, and it was super fun to run. So today we're going to have a look at an MW2 handgun, the FTAC Siege. And so I'm really excited to get through and test this weapon today. So when we spawn in and do my weapon testing videos like I always do, we put on all of my perks with no additions to the weapon to make it any stronger. Although as a mouse and keyboard player, I do use Deadshot Daiquiri for the extra critical damage that it does provide. And then today, one of the extras we had was golden armor plates. So just so you know, we do have one extra, the golden armor plates. So when we spawn in and do our weapon testing, we grab a bounty contract inside of tier 1, and we're going to take on our first bounty contract today inside of tier 1 at white rarity with no ammo mods, no tools, and no pack-a-punch, taking on a mangler bounty inside of tier 1. And I could already see, just with the sheer rate of fire from the FTAC Siege and the damage it was doing to this bounty contract inside of tier 1, there's not many times I will attempt to barrel stuff a bounty contract inside of tier 1 at white rarity without visiting Pack-a-Punch. But this FTAC Siege definitely was giving me the confidence to do that. So seeing how well that went, I wanted to go off to visit Pack-a-Punch machine to increase the damage output on the FTAC Siege. Also, make sure you melee the Pack-a-Punch machine before using the machine or applying your Pack-a-Punch crystals in order to keep your camo blueprint combination on your weapon for the entire run. Unless, of course, you're going off to the Dark Ether or the Unstable Rift, as you will lose your camo when you go in there. So the next thing to do, now that we had increased the damage on the FTAC Siege to Pack-a-Punch, only white rarity with no ammo mods, I was interested to grab a bounty contract and see just how quickly this can delete it, because our first bounty of the day at white rarity went so well. Also, does anybody else collect spare change? Because I do whenever I get a chance to see it. So we grabbed our second bounty inside of tier 1, which was a mimic. And like I said, we are white rarity, only pack 1, and that was such a difference compared to our first bounty contract, just how much easier it was to take out that bounty. I was thoroughly impressed and wanted to move on and continue to see what this FTAC Siege is going to be capable of. So the last thing to do inside of Tier 1 is to throw on my Legendary Tool and Shatter Blast, as I've been using Shatter Blast recently to increase the number of armor plates I see inside of Tier 3 off of zombies that I kill, and it has been working. So just a heads up that that's something that I found. If you're struggling for plates in Tier 3, try using Shatter Blast. So here is our last bounty contract inside of Tier 1. We're Legendary Pack 1 with Shatter Blast, and that Mangler, I don't even think the health bar depleted as fast as he died. So that was awesome to see. At this point, I made a beeline for Tier 2 for a bounty contract because I did not want to increase any of the damage output on this weapon. I wanted to keep it where it was, Pack 1 Legendary with Shatter, and grab a Tier 2 bounty and see, is this going to be a viable option in Tier 2, being Pack 1 Legendary? And they're already impressed. I mean, we're 1 magazine into our Mimic bounty inside of Tier 2, less than 2 magazines, and our Mimic was complete inside of Tier 2, being Pack 1. So I was definitely impressed with the damage output that this FTAC Siege is showing so far during this run today, that the next thing to do is to head off to Pack-a-Punch inside of Tier 2, and yet again increase the damage output on our FTAC Siege to pack level 2, and then try and track down a bounty contract inside of Tier 2. And I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like for me when I'm trying to find bounties. As you can see, sometimes there's just none inside of Tier 2, or I'm having to travel, you know, almost 1,200 meters to go pick up a bounty contract. So just wanted to show you guys that in case you don't always see that on the videos. But can be a bit of a struggle to track down bounties inside of Tier 2 recently. That is something I've noticed for sure. So we picked up our last bounty inside of Tier 2, which is a Disciple, and I do not like Disciples, but let me tell you, this FTAC Siege, holy smokes, had me jumping up and down in excitement with how fast I was able to melt that Tier 2 bounty Disciple. And I really dislike dealing with Disciples, the way they move, the way they siphon health off of you. So at this point, I wanted to fly off into Tier 3, visit the Wonder Fizz machine, grab the rest of my perks, hope that I could possibly grab a ritual to replenish the Pack 3 crystal and the legendary tool that I brought into this match. I also did not want to increase the damage output on the FTAC Siege, seeing how well it was performing inside of Tier 2 at Pack 2. So here we are inside of Tier 3, Pack 2 Legendary with Shatter Blast, and I wanted to show you guys some crowd control being Pack 2, and to show you that this is just completely viable to be using inside of Tier 3. 100%. You can see the damage on screen is real. You can see just how fast the entire horde gets destroyed in front of the barrel of the FTAC Siege. You can see all the DNA strands from all the zombies that we had just taken out. So the next thing to do was increase the damage output one last time to our maximum level, Pack 3 Legendary with Shatter Blast, and go off and visit Zhorde, the Guardian of the Arches, because I was feeling super aggressive and super confident using the FTAC Siege inside of Tier 3 for a couple of reasons. Number one, it is a pistol, so I am confident in my ability to move out of sticky situations. Even though having the gun out, I'm not too worried about being able to move, in that it's a pistol, so I got the quick movement speed. A couple other reasons was the insane fire rate of the FTAC Siege. It shoots so many bullets so incredibly fast that I was feeling really confident being able to push back and keep, you know, the congestion and the riffraff and the zombies back while I was focusing fire on Zhorde, the Guardian of the Arches. And I was not disappointed at all. I mean, this FTAC Siege just absolutely shreds inside of Tier 3. The fire rate is insane. When you get it to max damage, the damage output is absolutely remarkable. As you can see right here, Zhorde is firing up his last laser attack. You can tell I'm very aggressive. We're just standing there taking whatever Zhorde is trying to chomp me. He's trying to eat me, and I'm just standing there dishing out the damage to Zhorde. Now, I do want to mention, as you can see, we evaporate a Tier 3 HVT like they are a hot knife through butter. Definitely not much of an issue for sure, but I want to point out a couple of the struggles that I had with this. Number one being the ammo. I was constantly running out of ammo with the FTAC Siege, and finding that I was having to make sure, you know, you're checking the zombies for ammo drops, visiting the ammo caches to make sure I was keeping it full. But other than that, I mean, the FTAC Siege is very strong if you, are able to deal with a couple of the downsides, the ammo count, then I feel like this is definitely something that can be a viable weapon. Zhorde, the Guardian of the Arches here, fired up his last laser attack. We were able to melt him and clear out the remaining riffraff that was around Zhorde, so definitely a viable option inside of tier 3. We just had the standard drop from Zhorde. He had a perk, he had 1500 cash for me, and he had a large backpack. Now you can see on my TAC map, I wanted to grab a bounty contract to show you inside of tier 3 today, but unfortunately there was none. So I went and grabbed this raid weapon stash inside of tier 3 as I figured it was a great opportunity to show you guys, you know, just how viable the FTAC Siege can be when you've got a contract. This is a good one to show you because all of the zombies come in and I'm a solo player, so they're all rushing me, so they all come up here in one direction, and this is kind of the strategy I use. I'm sure you've seen it in my videos before on how to complete this raid weapon stash. I kind of hang up right up here and just dish out the damage to the zombies as I'm able to constantly hit critical shots. And then if I get overwhelmed or pushed back up here, I will jump over directly straight across to the other side and just kind of rinse and repeat, going back and forth between the two locations to complete the raid weapon stash. But you can see, like, standard HVTs with this FTAC Siege inside of tier 3 just get absolutely melted, just absolutely shredded. Zombies don't have much of a chance either. It's just the fire rate and the damage is truly awesome on this FTAC Siege. It's definitely something, if you haven't given a shot inside of your games, I would highly recommend you give this a shot, as you will definitely enjoy it. And let me know how you found the ammo count. And then I was off to go visit Pedro, the Palace Protector, and lo and behold, we had a player plead for help. So I stopped what I was doing, made my way over to make sure that we get that player up and going inside of tier 3, because going down inside of tier 3 is definitely something we all don't enjoy doing, and I feel like this game mode lends itself towards you know, helping each other out inside of the game mode, as there is no player versus player, so there's no reason in my eyes to, you know, be toxic at all. You just go and help each other out if you can, is how I view things. So here we are. I went and visited Pedro, our Palace Protector, inside of tier 3, and while I was here dealing with him, I had a notification that another player had gone down inside of tier 3. Now, I did know on my TAC maps that there was a couple other players there, so I figured I'd hang out for a bit here and see if anybody was going to get him up, but nobody was. So we had to leave Pedro and tell him we'll be back and make our way over to revive the player inside of tier 3. And when I got there, he was getting revived, and I could see why they had gone down. Holy smokes, they had literally everything on them. I tried to get away, took it down in the process, which is okay. We picked up some self-revives on the way, so no worries. Get yourself off, get yourself back up, dust yourself off, no big deal. Get back in the fight, work on getting back to helping these players and getting them back up, as now 2 of them were down. So I was definitely determined to get these players up. For some reason I was unable to mantle on that. Now before I dropped down, I did want to make sure that some of the crowd control was taken care of, as I could see with death perception that there's still a bunch of zombies in the area that I didn't want to be able to drop down and not get both the players up. So I wanted to take advantage of being up high here and having all the zombies come at me in one direction to try and clear out some of the riffraff, deal some crowd control before I went over and got these 2 players up. As you can see, I was able to clear out a large chunk of the crowd control right there. Our disciple, who always seems to show up and third party when you're trying to do something. I swear, I don't know what it is with disciples, but that is the way they seem to operate. So he put a decoy out and then went off and got our player up. I'm assuming one of the other players managed to revive them, as this squad was having a bit of an issue with that whatever contract what was. They had a lot going on. Disciples, they had a mega, they had zombies in the area. And then I was going to leave and go over and grab Pedro, the Palace Protector, but I got another notification that a player had gone down. So at this point, I had turned into Z, the medic, and here we are administering more healing to the player that was down. Got them back up, and then another one of their players went down. So the medic Z, we came over and got him back up, got him back into the action, and I think this was the final revive that I needed to provide. Kind of hung around the area this time to make sure you guys going to be okay. Everybody up, you're not overwhelmed by a bunch of zombies and stuff. Okay, looks like you guys were good to go, so it was time to head off and visit Pedro the Palace Protector, or not. Nope, sorry. Medic Z is needed one more time to go and revive another player inside of tier 3. But no, I guess the team managed to get themselves up, which was good to see. So that was awesome. And we can get back and go re-engage with Pedro the Palace Protector. By the way, I am having too much fun saying Pedro the Palace Protector. For sure, definitely. But you can see the damage that this FTAC Siege is able to do to a Mega Abomination inside of Tier 3. I know it's not a bounty contract. I know it's not a bounty Mega Abomination. But as there was none on the TAC map for me... Oh my goodness, can I not talk? None on the TAC map for me to grab as far as contracts. I figured taking on Zhorde, Guardian of the Arches, and Pedro, the Palace Protector, would be sufficient to show you guys just how viable the FTAC Siege is to be using inside of your Modern Warfare 3 Zombies games inside of Tier 3, dealing with a Mega Abomination. Now, Pedro here is definitely wise to our tricks. He knows that verticality is what I'm after to get him to fire up his laser attack, and he was not waiting around. Pedro is not a casual Mega. No, he is a very aggressive Mega. He likes to rush you. Pedro is all about being aggressive. He must be very hungry over here, as he's always trying to chomp on you in this area. So I feel like maybe poor Pedro is maybe a bit undernourished. And so maybe, you know, killing Pedro, the Palace Protector, is doing him a favor. I'm not sure. Let me know your comments down below on this whole situation with Pedro, the Palace Protector. But here he is firing up his last laser attack, and you can see the damage, the health bar of Pedro, the Palace Protector, just get evaporated as we were hitting the critical shots with this FTAC Siege, triple packed with Legendary and Shatter Blast on it. Truly a viable weapon to run, and definitely something that I recommend you all give a shot to inside of your Modern Warfare 3 Zombies currently. This led me to an exfil, and I tell you, I have not seen the amount of zombies, megas, and everything else at an exfil like this since the game dropped and before they originally nerfed the exfil spawn rate, because this was absolutely insane. I have not seen this many Mega Abominations, this many zombies inside of a Tier 1 exfil in many seasons. Let me know if you guys have seen a Tier 1 exfil like this recently inside of your Modern Warfare 3 Zombies games, because I'm not sure what was going on with this exfil, but it seemed to have an endless amount of spawns for zombies. It was just unbelievable. The amount of carnage that I was able to dish out with this FTAC Siege inside of Tier 1 being Pack 3 Legendary at this absolutely insane exfil. I mean, even when I went to leave, they were still pouring through the plane. I couldn't believe it. Absolutely pure chaos. Look at all that DNA I had to leave behind, which I felt bad for. I kind of wanted to jump out and go get it. But it is what it is. Truly amazing run using the FTAC Siege from MW2. In conclusion, for me, 100% a viable weapon for us to be using inside of our Modern Warfare 3 Zombies games. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Like I do at the end of every video, let's work together down in the comment section to make any changes to the build that I ran today. It is on screen right now for the FTAC Siege. If you feel that there are changes need to be made for us all to have an amazing build to use inside of our Modern Warfare 3 Zombies games, let's work together down in the comments below and make that happen. Now, the camo that I used today is found under all camos. It is under events, and it is one of the 3 you get for completing all 3 of the get higher event challenges. It is called the Synth Bust. And the blueprint that I was using for the FTAC Siege, I will show you guys if you make your way over to Handguns, over to the FTAC Siege. You can see the Black Cell Swarm variant is what I was using. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll catch you guys in the next one.